Okay, good evening, everybody. So today is our second class. So in continuation to our first class, in the first class we have seen how we are thinking and our state of mind. So in this class, I am directly coming to the solution, which is said in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Sankhya Yoga. So from 58 to 68th shloka. Actually, it is telling the solution to our day-to-day problems only. So I'll just go through the shlokas one by one. I'm not going to read all the shlokas. I'll just read the narrative and then I'll tell you the practical application so that you will come to understand the solution. Okay. So in the 58th shloka, the Supreme Father is giving us the example of the tortoise. Like the tortoise, which withdraws all its limbs on all sides, he withdraws his senses from the sense objects. His wisdom becomes steady. So I will just read the narrative. I will simply explain the theory part very briefly, but the practical application I will tell you with the examples. So here is giving the example of a tortoise which withdraws all its limbs on all the sides. He withdraws his senses from the sense objects. His wisdom becomes steady. Means the Supreme Father is asking us to withdraw the sense organs. So once we withdraw the sense organs from the external world, our wisdom, our intellect becomes steady. Okay, this is theory. So the next 59th shloka is telling about aspirants may restrain the senses from their objects of enjoyment, but the taste for the sense object remains. However, even this taste ceases for those who realize the supreme. This doesn't mean that we are not supposed to enjoy the life and we have to restrict ourselves from all the things. The only thing what the Supreme Father is telling is that we have to come out of the attachment. I will tell you in detail after the theory part. So the 60th shloka is telling about the senses are so strong and turbulent that they are forcibly carry away the mind even of a person endowed with discrimination who practices self-control. So in this entire shlokas, the Supreme Father is talking about the sense organs, the eyes, ears, nose, ears, and the skin. So how it is going to discriminate a person who is even practicing a self-control, because we do so many spiritual practices. In spite of all these practices, still there is some turbulence, still there is some disturbance or tension. So whatever we are experiencing in our day-to-day life, that we can overcome by practicing the self-control over the sense organs. Means the soul should rule over the sense organs. So how we are going to do it, that also we'll learn today. And the next is they are established in perfect knowledge, who subdue their senses and keep their minds ever absorbed in me. While contemplating on the objects of the senses, one develops attachment to them. Attachment leads to desire, and from that desire arises anger. Anger leads to delusion, which results in memory loss. When memory is lost, the intellect gets destroyed, and when the intellect is destroyed, one is ruined. Here, the memory means it is not the memory of the materialistic things, what it is referred to. It actually memory means who am I? That memory is lost. So, who am I? I am the soul. So we will be forgetting that we are the soul and we'll be identifying ourselves with the body. Anger leads to delusion, means it's a false belief that I am the body. So once that anger leads to delusion, our memory is lost, means we are forgetting that we are the soul. So once we forget that, the intellect gets destroyed, and when the intellect is destroyed, one is ruined. But one who controls the mind and is free from attachment and aversion, even while using the objects of the senses, attains peace. By divine grace comes the peace in which all sorrows end, and the intellect of such a person of tranquil mind soon becomes firmly established in self. But an undisciplined person who has not controlled the mind and senses can neither have a steady intellect nor steady contemplation on God. For one who never unites the mind with God, there is no peace, And how can one who lacks peace be happy? So here the soul has to get connected with the supreme soul so that you will experience your original nature of the soul will get emerged. Then you'll feel happy here. So just as a strong wind sweeps a boat off its charted course on the water, even one of the senses on which the mind focuses can lead the intellect astray. Therefore, one who has restrained the senses from their objects, O mighty armed Arjuna, is firmly established in transcendental knowledge. Transcendental knowledge means moh maya se upar, means you have to come out of the attachment, as well as maya means illusion. So from 58 to 68 shloka, this is a solution for all our problems. This is the base of the knowledge. So I'm explaining it on the second day itself because you should know that what I'm going to explain in the further classes. So once we understand the solution on which our further classes are based. So this is the basic knowledge about the tortoise. So I will show you one more. I will explain the practical application. So this is the tortoise, the example which is given in the 58 to 68 shlokas. So we'll come to the practical application now. See, the essence of all the shlokas, what we have just read is, we have to rule over the senses so that our mind gets stabilized, which is called as Sthita Prajna stage, means a stable mind. Once the mind is stable, you will be able to experience constant happiness. So how we are going to do that, I will just tell you by a practical example. Suppose somebody says something and you're getting hurt. So what is hurt here? It is a negative thought. So now we are learning the practical application. So I'm once again repeating. Suppose somebody says anything, we are getting hurt. So what is that hurt? Hurt is a negative thought. So from where did we create the negative thought? By looking at that person and by seeing that person. So by looking at that person, we are seeing is a appearance in an anger state, and we have listened to the word something which he said negative about us. So by taking that negative feedback, we are creating a thought that I don't have respect, people are not valuing me. So these thoughts are creating the hurt, not the person. We are taking the inputs from that person. So this is the situation in our day-to-day life. Now take the example of the tortoise. So what the tortoise is doing is, it is using its senses to the extent required, then it is withdrawing it. So now you are looking at the person, you are seeing his state of mind, you are seeing his appearance in an anger state, you have heard his voice through your sense organs. So you have perceived it through your sense organs. So now what we are going to do is, we are going to look at that person, we are going to hear it, but we are going to create a thought that I am a peaceful soul. I am a powerful soul. So then what happens? We have withdrawn the sense organs virtually. We are looking inside. We are created a thought, an elevated thought, which is in alignment with my true nature. But the person has said that I am fit for nothing, I am useless, hopeless, something he said which is not in alignment with the true nature. That's why we are getting hurt, because we have created a thought that I don't have respect, I don't have value. Why the person has to say so many things about me? These thoughts created by me has created the hurt. So now I'm going to replace all these negative thoughts with an elevated thought that I am a powerful soul, I am a peaceful soul. So now what is happening here? In spite of my seeing with the eyes and listening with the ears, still my soul is ruling over the senses, and I'm not taking anything from the outside. I'm taking the thoughts from the treasure of thoughts given by the Supreme Father. So I have replaced all these negative thoughts, which is creating the hurt, by creating an elevated thought that I am a peaceful soul, I am a powerful soul. So you will not feel hurt. So what we are doing in the practical situation is the moment a person says something, we are still externalizing it. We are still creating so many negative thoughts. If you see the tortoise here, the tortoise has come out of the shell. Actually, if you don't externalize your sense organs and if you withdraw into the shell, nobody can hurt you. But what we are doing is the moment somebody says something, immediately we are further externalizing the situation and we are almost losing the protection. We are coming out of the shell. So once you come out of the shell, anybody can easily attack us. They will attack to such an extent that we are totally damaged at the soul level. At the mind level, the mind is getting damaged. It is just like a accident. Suppose any physical accident happens, at least we are going to the hospital to take treatment. Then what about the emotional accidents? Every day we are just going and colluding with everybody with some reason or the other. That they are saying so many things, they are talking ill about me, they are suppressing my prospects of promotion or at the home. So many emotional accidents are happening for which we are not taking any treatment. So now the treatment part comes later, but how to prevent the accidents in the first instance? So you are going to protect yourself by ruling over the senses. So you need to remember this tortoise example. That's why the Supreme Father has said that once you withdraw your senses, once you rule over your senses, you will be safe. Suppose if you don't do that, you are exposing yourself. Somebody says something, either that person they are still continuing with, and we are going and pouncing on them. So totally out of the shell. Suppose if we are in the shell, what will happen? That will again see a video. So it's a very interesting video. You will like it also. So just watch this video. So the tiger is trying to tear that tortoise. The way we face the incidents, now people will try to tear us apart with their actions, with their words, with their thoughts.
This is quite cool. I've never seen a lion play with a tortoise before.
See, the tortoise is withdrawn into its shell, so the tiger is not able to do it. The shell itself is protecting it. So the lion is not giving up. Even the people whom we think who are close to us, they also don't give up. So the tortoise is put upside down. Even our life also becomes like that, only upside down. So neither the tortoise is giving up, nor the lion is also giving up. Everybody have their own stand in their life. See, finally the lion has given up and the tortoise has come out with the sense organs. So this is the perfect example of how to we have to rule over the senses and the essence of the 11 shlokas what have said in the starting of this class. All the 58 to 68, the 11 shlokas are talking about this tortoise only. This we have to imbibe in our practical life. A perfect solution to all our problems. So don't take anything from the outside. People will not give up so easily. People are not interested in their own lives. They are interested in others' life. They want to tear the people apart the way it is happening. So the reason why they do it is most of the people's lives are filled with sorrow. The sorrow has got a what they call mounted up in their hearts, and the tears are not flowing. So they want to see the other people cry, collapse, so that they get some sort of ego satisfaction. Especially it happens in the office environment where the bosses, the male counterparts, because they were taught that they have to be strong, they should not. Most of the time, the sorrow gets mounted up in the heart. So they don't cry also. They make others cry. So they do all sorts of things which we can't control. The only thing what we can do is we can control our own senses. We will not take any garbage, any kachra from outside. People will say so many things. But instead of if we, you will get hurt if you take it from outside. If you create a thought that they're not giving me respect, they're not valuing me, they are insulting me, these thoughts will create the insult. In spite of them saying all nonsense about you, still, if you create an elevated thought that I am a powerful soul, I am a peaceful soul, these thoughts will create stability of mind. Just after the class, just to go through again all the 58 to 68 shlokas, you will understand the essence of it. The intellect will get steady. Once the intellect gets stable, once the intellect is determined, what it is taught there, you will experience peace. Once you experience peace, you will be happy. So, what is this peace exactly? Is people are saying so many things. Suppose, for example, they have said some 10 things that you are fit for nothing, you don't have any value, you cannot do anything. So whatever they said, basing on that, we are creating so many thoughts. That n number of thoughts, we don't even know how many thoughts we are creating. That is actually creating the tension here, the turbulence, the tension, or whatever it may be, the stress. Now it is starting with the tension, going up to stress, then afterwards it is going up to depression also. So now all these thoughts will just replace it with a single thought that I am a peaceful soul. So the moment you reduce your number of thoughts, you will experience peace. What I said is theory. You have to apply it and see. So that's why in the first class I said just to go through your own mind and see what type of thoughts are you creating. The negative, the positive, the waste, elevated anyhow you have learned here. So once you know what thoughts you are creating, so that the moment that thought comes, you can replace it with this thought. So start replacing it with, so the moment the number of thoughts comes down, immediately you will experience stability of mind and peace of mind. So this is actually the essence of these teachings. So in the next class, we'll learn about the soul. Day after tomorrow, we'll learn about the supreme soul. And then the karma philosophy means law of attraction in combination with the karma philosophy. So that in this 5 days, you'll at least get the essence of the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, of the spiritual knowledge. Okay, for today, what I am supposed to say, it's over. You want to say anything, you want to ask anything, you can speak. Nothing? I think you are thinking. I think gone into the deep thoughts. This is called as contemplation. Good that you are seriously thinking about the subject.
Yes, ma'am. I was thinking of what to ask you because I have seen people they don't change.
Mm.
It is the most the common mistake that we do is we try to change them. Rather, we would try to change our thought. Then I think things will. But ma'am, there are certain moments when
Mm.
it gets triggered. Suppose
Mm.
your this elevated thought, if I apply, suppose
Initially, it will get
30
triggered.
days, 40 days, 50,
Mm.
20 days. But
Mm.
then there will be some moments which will
Mm.
trigger. Pre-
Yes. So the thing is, this our third class will be about the Supreme Soul. So now the soul has to get connected to the Supreme Soul so that you have the stock of peace in abundance.
Mm,
Once you have this stock in abundance, see, whatever is there inside, that only will come out. So
mm,
now, since we are falling shortage of all these treasures, people are able to trigger it. So inside anger is there. Once the people trigger it, is coming out.
mm,
So now our next lesson, actually in the Bhagavad Gita, it started with soul only. But if
mm,
I say again, you people will get bored. What exactly is the essence of the teachings you don't understand? That's why I have directly come to the solution.
mm.
So now all these things, how do you do? You learn what is the soul, the supreme soul, and then the karmic philosophy. See, people are not talking to you just like that. You
Just
might be
like that,
having
yes.
some
Karmic
karmic account,
karmic
na? Without
philosophy
it,
is
nobody
most
will come into
important.
your life.
Absolutely.
And this law of attraction, what the motivational speakers are saying, you create a thought, everything will be set right, means no, it is not so. You have to combine it with the karmic
Karmic philosophy.
philosophy, Bhagwan ke kanun, Desh ke kanun,
Yes.
laws of the country and laws of the God. Two laws are running
Mm.
simultaneously. So why we are learning all these things? Because the essence of the teaching says that you should get courage to live a righteous life so that you get the freedom. So from what, where we have to get this freedom? What is freedom?
From
Is
negative thoughts.
from the mental prison.
Negative thoughts.
People are thinking that prison means it's a physical prison where
Mm.
somebody do some crime
No,
and
no, no. Mental prison.
no, actually we are in the mental prison. So the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita is giving us freedom. But to apply this knowledge, we need to have courage. That
Mm.
courage you will come from the knowledge and you will be out of the mental prison where you will experience the freedom. So once you get courage and freedom, life seems to be beautiful. Got the point. The essence is that. So how you are going to do that? You have to remember. That's why we have made this tortoise with the video so that once you visualize something, it will sink into your mind. If I just put the Bhagavad Gita shlokas, you'll forget. So everything, every time anything happens in your life, just remember about the tortoise and the tiger. People are tearing you apart, but still withdraw your senses. Don't create any thought depending on the garbage what they are giving you. Only create a single thought that I am a peaceful soul, I am a powerful soul. If you start taking the garbage what they're giving and start creating the thoughts, you will get hurt, you will get damaged, emotional accidents, no healing. So mentally sick, 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 it will continue. Okay. So
Yes.
just go through the shlokas once again. We'll give you the recording also. And tomorrow we'll learn what is the soul, the original nature. And now from tomorrow onwards, totally the practical will come. Acha, what about this treasure of time? Have you applied it?
Ma'am,
Good.
trying to. Because I'm continuously thinking that I have lots of time. I have lots of
I have treasure of time. See,
treasure
just
of
now you
time.
asked me a question that if somebody triggers me, it happens, miss. Now you should think that you should have abundance. Actually, it is there. We are not using it. I have lot of time. I have treasure of time. There's a lot of difference, isn't it? Treasure
Mm.
means totally unlimited. You
Mm.
have treasure of peace. Now you are going to
Mm.
invoke all these things.
Mm.
So once you invoke all these things, even if people trigger it also, nothing will happen. Only the peace will come out.
Mm.
Even if you don't plan it also, still your time will be going in your favor. Because now the time is going against the people. Always
Yes.
pushing, pushing.
That is how I always used to think how karmic relationship comes to an end. I got the answer right now.
Yeah. Acha, tell
And
me.
I understood this now.
Ah,
Because, ma'am, a karmic relationship will keep on continuing if there is reaction from both the sides together always. The
that will be
moment
my
one
second
person
next
is
class,
going to the
because by
shell,
this tort that's why I said this tortoise example is the
exactly.
base. See,
Yes,
once you don't take the garbage and create an elevated
yes,
thought, you will be coming out of the karmic cycle.
yes, yes. That
So
I
that
just
will
got the
be
answer
my
now.
class on the Thursday. So that's why I
Uh,
said in the second chapter itself, the permanent solution, the perfect solution is given by the Supreme, which you will
uh,
not get anywhere outside.
uh,
Motivational speakers don't talk about the karmic philosophy because people will not attend the classes if we say that
yes,
it is your karmic account. So
yes,
tomorrow, if you ask me any questions, and suppose I say, Tinky, it is your karmic account, from next onwards, you will not attend the class. Suppose
yes.
if I say it is not your fault, you create a thought, the universe will give you, means you'll feel comfortable.
Mm. Now I
So it
got the
is only.
answer right now.
Huh? Very
I
good.
got
I'm
the
happy
answer
that
right now, ma'am. I was
I'm
thinking.
happy that without telling the karmic ball, I've understood. But still, we'll deal with the subject in detail
Yes, ma'am. Definitely,
because I
definitely.
expect you to go further and counsel the children and the parents
Sure, ma'am.
because
Sure.
you are with them in the field, isn't it? So
Sure, ma'am. Sure.
understand it deeply, and you can give your own case studies also. I will tell you the solutions for that,
Okay.
so that the way we are happy, they will also be happy.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
We'll meet tomorrow at
Yes,
6
ma'am.
o'clock.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you.